Wesley, what a crazy game. I mean, the
Yeah.
first one was more or less calm compared to the second one. Let's say Armageddon was really tough and it felt very intense. How did you feel during that?
Yeah, the Armageddon was just such a crazy game. Like, I had no idea. I mean, of course, I'm very disappointed I lost. But that's the thing, Armageddon, it could go your way or not, and it happens very fast. But Shaq got the position that he wanted to play in the Armageddon, and he got the position that he's good at. And I was just confused, spent a lot of time. But in the end, it was just totally lost. But yeah, that's the thing, huh? Either you try to play safe in the classical and then see what happens to Armageddon, or you try to go all in for the classical and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But
Well, also in the confessional booth, you said that you could do it, you could just stay and do nothing, and still the game would be a draw at the end. But before you
Yeah.
were very concerned about this 94 move. Can you please explain what do you think now about that game?
yeah, well, first of all, I prepared this endgame line, yeah, until like knight e6. So I prepared this endgame very deeply, and it's very close to equal. Like top computers give 0.10, which is basically nothing. So I thought it's a very good line. Like I played this line before, but I played queen takes a2 against Shaq a year ago. So today I thought I played the queens right away. And Shaq spent a lot of time, so I was quite confused. But actually, knight b3, I think my move knight b3 was a bad move. Like my first intention was bishop a4 or or a5. Like any move is better than knight b3. Basically, I should wait for him to play e3, e4, and then I can play knight b3 to force a trade of knights. But I played knight b3 right away, and of course, Shaq should have played knight e4. I'm not sure what the computer would say. But basically, if he can bring the knight to g3 and play e4, white gets chances because he always has knight jump f5. And my pawn h6 is vulnerable. So knight b3 was such a stupid move by me, but
But still, Jan Gustafsson believed in your position even after 94. He said that probably still black should hold.
yeah, probably black should hold, but you have to be very precise. But before I played knight b3, black had absolutely no problems. Like I Yeah, I think pass would be better, or b6, a5. But my first intention was correct, bishop a4, I think. The idea of bishop c6, and after e4, now I can play knight b3. Or I can just play bishop c6 and then b5, a5, which is also a pretty easy draw. But Shaq started to think a long time, and I think he just want to get to the Armageddon. But in the end, he was also using a lot of time, so I was quite confused. But yeah, he's a very good blitz and speed player, so I guess he has no problems just going. And in the Armageddon, like he just played any random opening. Whenever I play this with white, I get absolutely nothing, and the game finishes in a draw right away. And then he played this queen c2, knight c3, which is not supposed to be good for white. Like I think I'm supposed to play d4 at some point, but I couldn't remember. And yeah, and it was such a crazy game, but. Maybe.
What do you think? How will influence the standings right now? This particular match which you played.
Well, now I think I'm tied with Shaq, right? Yeah, we have the same exact points, which be a point disappointing, but it happens. And I guess Bishi played really well. Like Bishi's played very seriously in this tournament. He didn't go for the boat ride yesterday, or I think he's just resting and all that, and he's really very serious. I guess he wants to try to win this tournament. Why not? Um,
How was actually yesterday the free day? Did you enjoy this game? You played with between two teams.
Yesterday we played in the largest chess pieces in chessboard in the world. It's called the mega board, right? And it was very fun. The pieces were really heavy. I guess the lightest was 70 kilos and the heaviest was 240 kilos.
You really felt that you played chess, right?
Yeah, it was fun. Like it was all fun and games in the opening, especially when Black played knight f6 and then went back knight g8. But then we wanted to trade queens because whoever trades the queens pushes the queen farther from e7 to e2. So we made them trade queens, and then we got a worse position out of white in 7 moves. But we managed to hold. So we wanted the rematch, for Armageddon. But yeah, it was nice. I'm very glad that Norway Chess is holding all these events during the free days. I think makes the top players closer to each other and also gives other people some fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how you were analyzing this game altogether, 10 people. I mean, how was it to analyze the game, which you just played between like 10 players?
Yeah, we've done it before, but it's nice to have Magnus on the team. And yeah, in the beginning we were really discussing, but in the end, time was running out. So our friend here put a 15-second time limit on each move. Then we have absolutely no time to think. But yeah, I mean it's fun because chess generally a very individualistic game, so it's fun to have team events. And now I'm actually excited for the Olympiads.
Yeah, sure. If you mentioned this, just a few words about the Olympiad and the team. I mean, how excited you are to take part? What do you think about actually some other teams which will not have the top players? Now we know that Maxime, for example, will not play. Do you
Oh,
think
yeah,
chances
Maxime
of
for
US increased?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if Russia, China, and France doesn't play, and some other teams, then we kind of have no excuse not to do well, huh? I mean, if you can't win an Olympiad without Russia, then when are you ever going to win? That being said, we have a very strong team. I'm slightly disappointed that Hikaru is not joining, but I can fully understand his decision. India is not is a difficult place to play and get to. Especially
But maybe he will be commenting at least.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure he'll be streaming, and I guess he's preparing hard for the candidates. Uh, Although actually tonight he's playing in a tournament, the Rapid Chess Championship online. But yeah, anyway, it's going to be fun. I mean, I'm excited to see what the venue will be in India and all that. But as usual, the Olympiad is a lot of fun. But I guess there's a lot more pressure for us to try to get medals because most of the strong teams are not going. But on the other hand, India has 3 teams and they all have very strong young players. So, and as Jovanka pointed out, and Jan Gustafsson, England and Germany is not to be underestimated.
Yeah, that's for sure. Thank you very much, Wesley, for your time and all the best in the next rounds. Thank you.
Thank you.